Everybody please find your seats. Start at about 30 seconds. You count down from 10 and then press the button when you start talking.
Okay, good morning, members of the Injecting Committee and participants of iGEM. It's a big support to have you here. Today, we're going to present a new way of doing and understanding synthetic biology. And I'm happy to say that you are going to see the future of biological printing. Let's start. The history of printing is very long in time. It started in the 9th century with the types, typography, with the diamond sutra and rice paper. Then, between the 15th and 16th century, Johannes Gutenberg developed what we know as modern printing. And today what we have is digital printing, where you can do your own design in your personal computer and then just print it. Lab history is as long as the printing history. It started as the 19th century with basic medicine labs such as Ramon y Cajal Laboratory to the labs that we have today. And I have a question for you. What is the future like? I have the pleasure of presenting you our iGEM project, Printeria. Printeria is a simple device that democratizes synthetic biology by making it accessible, time-saving, and low cost. Let's not lie. Successful iGEM projects are made by multidisciplinary members, and that's why our team is formed by engineers, biotechnologists, and designers to broaden the horizon of knowledge and do something greater, something better. Printeria is the conjunction of several disciplines. Do you imagine a printer without the software? Of course not. And without its ink? And what about the physical part or the needs of the user included? I'm sorry. So now we're going to develop these questions. So please, Betty.
Thank you, Roger. All right. Continuing with the symbol of a printer, Printeria has 3 parts. An entry system, a printed circuit board or PCB where the biological reactions take place, and finally, the output tray, where the transformed bacteria grow and can be measured. First, we need to introduce the consumables or bioink in the printing area. For that, we have created this carousel-based system that can be rotated with a stepper motor. There, the vital tips with the bioink are placed in each position. Then, a solenoid is activated that lowers a needle and, by means of a very static pump, filter air is blown. This air causes the droplet with the bioink to fall on the printed surface. But what is bioink? In Printeria, bioink includes 3 components. The basic parts, the competent bacteria, and finally, the enzymes necessary for the assembly reaction. Each of them are confined within the vital tips. For provided and DNA parts, our team has developed a complete basic part collection that includes 8 promoters, 5 RBSs, 13 CDSs, and finally 1 terminator. For making the construction, by mixing these components, we need an assembly standard, easy to automate, a way to mix and move the components, and finally, the adequate reaction conditions. So, working together, engineers and biotechnologists, we got the solution. The assembly standard chosen is Golden Gate. compatible with biobricks and also with this assembly standard. But recalling the hardware, we were talking about the drop with the bioink falling on the printing surface. But what happens once there? Now, we need to move and mix the different components. Here is where magic begins. We choose to use the digital microfluidic technology that allows the movement of droplets on surfaces by applying the electrowetting effect. But what is this? This effect consists on altering the hydrophobic properties of a surface by applying voltages. The surface is nothing more than a PCB covered with a very hydrophobic material. After several testings, we developed a PCB that allows such movement. Well, now we have the droplets moving. We need to solve the requirement of different temperature cycles. For that, instead of changing the temperature of a tube using a thermocycler, we have created two zones at a constant and different temperature where the reaction droplet moves. But how? How are we going to get it? Through two elements, a resistance and a peltier. The first one will increase the surface temperature up to 37 degrees. And the second one will extract heat, decreasing its temperature to 16 degrees. As we can see here, making a reaction with these two zones is possible. While the assembly reaction is taking place, the competent bacteria are chilling in a separated area at 4 degrees. Once the assembly is complete, the reaction droplet merges with that with the competent bacteria. Now, the bacteria are ready to be transported. The idea is to electroporate them while they're being transported to the output tray. As proof of concept, we transform the bacteria using the high-speed Valencia 2016 iGEM project, the electroporator that they developed, obtaining these good results. So let's see what happens now. The bacteria are ready to be incubated or grow in our output tray. But this is not the most important, because we can take all day and fluorescence measurements, optical density measurements. Let's see the results of our sensors. On the left, we have the calibrate of the measurements of our growing bacteria. And on the right, we have the calibration curve of the fluorescence sensor. In the x-axis, we can see the measurements of our sensor. And in the y-axis, we see the molecules of equivalent fluorescein per cell. Now, Adrian is going to explain the software.
Thank you, Betty. So, do you think that we can use a printer without any software? Of course not. Printeria is controlled by two Arduinos in parallel. These two Arduinos are connected with a Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi sends the instructions to the Arduinos and receives the data from the measurements in Printeria. The user can interact with the Raspberry Pi through a very intuitive software. The software has three principal functionalities. The inventory, where you can check the available bioinks. Recipes, with pre-designed composite parts. And new job, where you can design your own composite parts. In the inventory, you can insert the bioink by clicking on the cartridge. You can also change the part on that position. In recipes, you can select and print a pre-designed composite part by selecting or the registry number or the short description. And in new job, you can design your own composite part by selecting a promoter, an RDS, a CDS, and a terminator. But this is not all. The main objective of our software is to allow the future development of Printeria. That's why we implemented all the software methods in an application program interface. One more functionality of the software is to predict the behavior of a new composite part before printing. To do this, we did two things. We created a modeling simulation tool, and we also characterized all our basic parts. The simulation tool combines the characteristics of each basic part selected to obtain quantitative results. But how did we get the characteristics of the parts? First, we made a mathematical model, and at the same time, we have made a measurement of the composite part constructed in the lab. Then we combined them in an optimization process, and we obtained numerical values for the parameters of the model that defines the parts. Here is an example of the obtaining of the transition rate for 3 different RBSs. Now, Roger is going to continue.
Thank you, Adrian. Okay, this year we wanted human practices to be a part of our applications. And let's remember that one of our main objectives was to make accessible synthetic biology, to make synthetic biology accessible. So next, we're going to answer 3 questions. How we have done a device with the user and not for the user. How we have implemented feedback, safety feedback in our design. And finally, how we have joined public engagement with integrated practices. In our public engagement activity, we took Printeria to the Mustang Art Gallery. There were students and teachers waiting us, and we explained them Printeria, and we gave them the opportunity to do the artistic pieces with Printeria's products, the print toner. These are the results. At the end of that activity, we gathered them and we invited them to give suggestions about Printeria, to give us feedback that we will include in, remember this word, Kano model, the axis of our integrated human. Let's talk about the Kano model. Kano model is a methodology to include feedback in your project. In simple words, it classifies the needs of the users in how much satisfaction the product acquires with it. Let's see how it works. First of all, you have to take feedback from a public engagement activity, as we did, and then you have to make a survey of paired questions. What are paired questions? With those needs, with one need, you can do 1 pair questions that express that need positively or negatively. For example, if one kid says, hey, I want Printeria to have LED lights. Okay, LED lights is a necessity. So you would put in the paired question, how would you feel if Printeria had LED lights? And in the negative one, you would put, how would you feel if Printeria did not have LED lights? So when you have completed that survey, you return it to your users, and they fulfill it. Then you have to follow the Kano model methodology, and finally you obtain your results. Let's see our results. Well, at the end of the process, your needs are classified in 6 levels. From the bottom to the top, the satisfaction of the user increases if you include one of these. And what we had 7 necessities, and we obtained an attractive in the majority of them, and of course they were really important to integrate it in Printeria, so in the majority of them we have done it, and 2 of them we will done it in the near future. So we did it. It's very good results. But what we have done here, we have joined public engagement with integrated practices. Okay? We've made sure we don't waste time and money including needs that are indifferent to users. And the most important thing, we have documented this in a way other teams can build upon. Let's talk about expert feedback. We did several interviews with really important people in engineering and biotechnology, as Brian Fobel, a biomedical engineer, Anna and Miriam, bioartists, Francisco Mojica, the discoverer of CRISPR-Cas9 system, and he's from Spain, and Maria Peñil and Memo, 2 bioartists who are co-workers here in NEB Lab, in NEB Labs, Boston. New technologies create new art applications, And in art, this is really important. The painter Mojica came to see us to evaluate the products of Printeria and to evaluate Printeria itself. Here at MIDS, in the early 70s, and now, with 77 years old, he was eager to learn what Printeria may offer to art. We did an interview with him, and we gave him the opportunity to use the Printon, the Printeria products. To prove the world how powerful Printeria is, we tried to do one of his impossible figures. Here you can see the impossible figure, one of the impossible figures that Iturralde created. And here the results with the products of Printeria. Amazing. And well, before doing anything, we thought about safety. We thought about the sterilization of the PCB and microfluidic tubes, about the protection of the user, the electroporator use, the overheating and ventilation, and the disposable tips. And all the answers we get with our instructors were implemented in Printeria. Furthermore, to know that we were following the correct path, we passed an ethics committee that the UPV created in summer. And we passed it, of course. About collaborations, we have to give thanks to those teams who collaborated with us: Universidad Complutense de Madrid, Philipps Universitat Marburg, la Universidad de las Fuerzas Armadas ESPE, Harvard University, and the Imperial College London. Thank you. No. Okay, finally, to sum up. We've done an excellent parts collection. We've done an awesome hardware that you can see in the exposition place. We've done a model that has allowed us to characterize all the parts. We have done a very intuitive software, and we've used something innovative here in iGEM, the kind of model. And furthermore, we have done several public engagement. So now, thanks for listening. Okay.
We'll start with some questions.
Great hardware, guys. Good work. So I have a question regarding your reaction zone. So your heating problems with a big surface relative to the volume. Did you have any problems of the decrease of volume due to evaporation?
In the testing, we found that the tablet effectively evaporated really quickly. But after talking with Ryan Fogel from Cybot and Canada, he advised us to use a lid. So we just cover the droplet really tightly, so that effectively mitigates the evaporating problem long enough for us to produce the reaction.
Hi there, I've enjoyed your presentation. Thanks very much. I wondered if you could comment on the preparation time to get the machine up and running, the duty cycle, and then maybe any kind of maintenance that you see as being important to keep it sustainable.
So the machine, we assembled it arriving here in 3-4 hours. The frame is really easy to assemble together, and the electronic components we want to prepare it to be able to just plug and play, so you will be able to quickly get it running. And the maintenance of the machine, it's mostly done to sterilize, and also the actual surface of the PCB. You have to, well, the approach we used is silicone oil that requires a change every day or every couple of days. So we would like to later investigate longer lasting options, so that you have to do less about that. And also the tubes that transport the fluids from the PCB to the reaction tray, can be changed periodically, so they are kept stirring and don't have any trouble with directions themselves.
Thanks again for the wonderful presentation and product, of course. So you also made a really impressive parts collection, and I was a little bit confused whether this printeria was actually printing the images or not. But I see now that they're handmade and that printeria actually generated the sort of ink for them, right? So my question actually is printeria made to produce different types of colored bacteria, or can it produce anything with these parts that you created? We still have 2 minutes.
Printer is designed to produce everything that you imagine, because you can select insulin protein and your bacteria will produce the insulin protein.
Okay, so these parts are suitable for all those things.
So adding on that, we have also designed the software to make it really easy to upload your own parts in a bunch at the same time, or just individually, so that you can use the stuff that's on your lab or try new things and experiment with what it might be able to produce.
Sorry, I can include something. Yes, you can do whatever you want, but it must be in the Golden Gate run. So it's what others said.
I would actually let you know a little bit about the data that supported that those parts actually worked. If you can explain a little bit about it.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
You did experimentation and to complete the registry, you were supposed to put data that supports the functioning part of the parts. Can you talk a little bit about it?
That's the most important part in the most important application of modeling. We have registered experimental data, and then we have tried to fit it with simulation results by applying a multi-objective organization protocol based on a mathematical algorithm that identifies different objectives, and it estimates the parameter values of our model for each part, and that's the most relevant information that we obtain.
So thank you all very much. This is a really interesting project on many different levels. One thing that we haven't talked about yet is the engagement efforts that you've done in the Kano model. It's good to see the development of specific methodologies to address human practice kinds of issues. So I was wondering if you could talk about your experience using the Kano model and what you would change if you were going to use it again. So what did you learn from the process of using the model that would influence how other teams might employ this model?
Well, of course, we wanted to do something different. And Kano model has supposed for us, don't waste time and go to what it's really important for the user. And of course, it can be improved, and in many ways. You can do, for example, a tree of improvement, and that's all. But it can be improved, and that's all the thing. So.
Thank you all very much. Five-minute break.